That was really enjoyable to watch.
Deagle is very, very easy to have fun with.
Yeah,
It's a very high energy
just like kind
sort
of tell
guy.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Hello, Mr. Where there's a face cam in the middle of your stream.
Oh god, I just rearranged something and I don't know what it was. All right, I'm going to put you here. Wait, no, you're blocking the gun now. That's not okay. You have to be like right there.
Right, where?
All right.
Wait, that's just the middle of the entire thing, though.
You'll be fine. You'll be fine.
Okay.
We'll work it out. It's a work in progress, Ronar.
All right, it's work in progress. Where my face is gonna go?
So how's your Long War 2 Legend Ironman been coming of late, Ronar?
So, basically, before War of the Chosen comes out, I don't want to have like a campaign I'm too invested in. Kind of like what you're doing right now, except I chose to do like a bunch of runs where I just take like one class only and I just console command everything, and I let my viewers decide on what they want to do. So we've done like all shinobis, we've done all assaults, all technicals, all sharpshooters. We don't talk about the all sharpshooters one. And
have you won any of these? That's a lot of campaigns.
Most of them ended pretty quickly, but that's mostly because I'm just playing fast, not
okay.
And we did actually almost win the all shinobi one. Actually, the all shinobi one was surprisingly doing better than all the other ones, including the all assault one. So why do you think your all side campaign is actually working out so well right now?
Basically because I got very lucky and survived the early game. Well, I was able to like, I didn't like console all of the classes to be Psy. I was able to use technicals
you actually
early
like
game and
use
stuff like
that. That makes sense.
You know, it takes.
I just call it the all side because it's just mostly Psy. It's not all Psy. So what I learned from doing all these like all solo class runs is that there's certain benefits from playing the game in a way. So like XCOM comes down to a few things, the tactical layer at least, where it's like positioning and like cover or like stuff like that. But if you actually get like certain classes that just ignore that stuff, it's actually like really strong. Like when I was doing all shinobis, I kind of figured that being able to double move my shinobis around, so I ignored positioning and then killing stuff in like on click, so I ignored cover. That was actually like something I noticed that like was really strong. And I'm noticing that from like watching your campaign also. It's like because you're able to ignore positioning with your Psy operatives, right? You just click on things with stasis, you click on things with soulfire, you take control stuff using specialist, stuff like that. I think that stuff is like really strong. Like I was surprised that the all shinobi campaign actually did better than the all technical and all assaults. And I think the big thing is because shinobis kind of just like are anywhere they want to be, right? While like assaults, they have to wait for run and gun to be off of cooldown. And for example, technicals, they have to be within range to use their flamethrowers. And that's what I'm noticing is really strong in this game right now, just being able to ignore positioning. Like being able to just toss an incendiary grenade on someone, being able to shred their gun from wherever you're standing. That's all really strong stuff. And I think it ties into like a lot of what you say about being able to engage from a range. Because if you're able to ignore positioning, that means you get to fight them from any range.
Yeah, I agree. I think a lot of these games is about building sort of redundancy for how to do things, and when you have to kill something at long range by first destroying its cover and then shooting it with guys who are good at shooting it, and then you also have to be able to defend them, that's like a lot of different things you have to worry about. Whereas if you just have like one soldier who can oh my god, this mission is gonna be so ridiculous. Did you see we got a hypnography hack reward?
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah,
there's a mind controlling everything with insanity
on the map. Yeah, no, it's it's going to be an interesting one. Yeah, like Psy operatives just don't care about cover, and there isn't anybody in this team who cares about cover at all. But it's still a team which is like strong at range and generally
all you have to
damage
do is see
output.
them.
Yeah, you just have to see them, and apparently they joined my team. Is how it works for now. I think, yeah, one of the things that I identify as like problematic in a game like this is whenever an ability can break the like sort of key things which you have to put together. So, for example, being able to beat cover is a key thing in this game. And
Yeah.
when an ability just dismisses cover and doesn't care about cover anymore, that's really, really strong. Being able to like kill enemies at a numbers disadvantage is a really big deal. So if you can take control of enemies, that's really, really strong.
Yeah,
Being
it's like
able,
-1 for them, +1 for you.
yeah, being able to like get shot back at by the enemies is a very vital part of the game. And so if you know have the squad sight plus phantom team, that's really, really strong. I think.
So what do you?
Yeah, I think that those things just need to be reeled in, or else they really break the game.
So what do you think about like the idea of enemies being able to shoot back at you in like a turn-based game? Like, because XCOM is a turn-based game, right? So whoever moves first will always have the advantage, and that's almost always XCOM unless you like really botch up your turn and activate on like a yellow move as your last action for the turn. So like, what do you think about that? Like, do you think XCOM should be played like should actually be like balanced as a like game where you're supposed to be exchanging fire with enemies, or if you should just balance the game as like a game that's like all about alpha striking?
I want it to be a game where enemies can shoot at you. I think we're about to get yellow alerted. Like, yellow alert sort of does that a little bit.
That's like one of the things that like kind of patches up the issues, but it doesn't fix it completely.
Yeah,
I feel like one of the biggest flaws about yellow alert is that like sometimes you'll just have like a surprise muton pod out of nowhere from behind your team, and like if they're lucky enough, someone just dies out of nowhere. It always feels bad when that happens. Kind of like that.
Did he not have a nanoscale?
Well, even if he did have nanoscale, he was flying, so it's probably like a 10% chance that he got like crit or
I think
something,
he was
right?
saying it was a 4% chance. Yeah, he certainly just
4%.
got like crit twice and died. That's for sure.
Ouch.
That was sort of incredible how that happened while you were talking about how yellow alert could do that.
Yeah, because
yeah.
Because that's like what I feel about Yellow Alert is that Yellow Alert is like basically the enemy's version of Alpha Striking XCOM. In a way, right?
Well, I would love if the game were balanced so that fights were more extended. I think there are difficulties in doing
why is the
that
rocket
in the
AoE so
system
small?
that we have, though.
Oh, that's the Rocketeers. Okay.
Yeah, all enemies actually have the same range on their AoEs in this game. So all enemy AoEs are exactly that large. Like every single
Oh, really?
one.
Like even the flashbangers and stuff have like small AoEs like that?
Yeah, that's why incendiary grenades are so insane when Advent uses them, because they have the same AoE as you know, all the other stuff. I just unconscious an officer. I don't know what that does. Like, is the mission not going to end now because he's alive? I don't know.
I think disabled enemies don't do anything or like end the mission. So the thing about XCOM that I've noticed is that because it's a turn-based strategy game where one person can move first, it's very difficult to balance it in a way that like you can actually get actual firefights going on. So what do you think about alien rulers from vanilla?
I dislike alien rulers because of just the execution of them. I don't mind the
fair.
concept of them being able to shoot at you, but I think it's very stupid the way that they're done.
Yeah, the way that they're done.
I'm hoping that the stuff they're doing in War of the Chosen will be better.
I actually kind of like the rulers a lot. It's just that like they got a little bit too many actions, so like kind of like how the Archon King could like fire the blazing pinions and then have it come down after like you move your soldier once. That kind of feels a little bit like out of the player's grasp, but one of my best experiences with modded XCOM came from a better Advent. They had a type of enemy called like the Prime units, so there was like Sectopod Prime, Sectoid Prime, and basically how the Primes worked was very similar to the rulers, except instead of getting an action every time you moved, they got an action every time you shot at them and hurt them, or like you threw a grenade on them. And I thought that was pretty fair because unlike the rulers where it's like the player is like just pressured all the time, you're actually able to like control how like when they actually shoot back at you and stuff, right? So then it's like you kind of like are expecting it, you know it's happening, while like with a ruler it's like it's just happening and like you have no control over it at all. I thought that was kind of fair what they did with that.
Have you looked into Phoenix Point at all? I know Phoenix Point
Phoenix
is like...
Point. I heard about it from my friend actually. That's the game that the original XCOM creator is making, right?
Yeah, Mr. Gollop.
I've looked at it a little bit, not like too much though.
Basically, everything has return fire. So anytime you attack something, it shoots back at you.
Okay, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I think that's
I don't
something
know.
that XCOM could use, because like in like a turn-based strategy game, right? Like in like turn-based strategy games, since XCOM is like one where we move all of our guys first, then they move all of their guys first, next. So it's like in chess is like a lot more balanced, right? Because you move a piece, they move a piece, you move a piece, they move a piece. So I think that's kind of fair, and that's kind of like how I wanted like the reaction systems to be from like the alien rulers, to be kind of like they got like something in between on your turns. So it's not just like you playing solitaire and trying to figure out the best way to kill 5 enemies on the map. It's like, and you do something, they'll react to it, and the player has to react to it. I think that's like what's going to make XCOM into like a more perfected game.
I think the problem with that for XCOM is that your pieces coordinate so specifically.
That's also true. That's also true.
I don't know. I like that system in Darkest Dungeon quite a lot. Have you played much Darkest Dungeon? You've played a little bit, right?
Yeah, I played a little bit. Not like a whole bunch though. I've never actually finished the Darkest Dungeon run.
I did once upon a time, and then I failed one miserably. Yeah, I think that game is like simplistic enough, and what? Well, that's unfortunate. Welcome to XCOM.
What happened to him?
I mind controlled him, and then he died instantly. I believe that I had Schism on that soldier, so the insanity was actually dealing damage. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so in Darkest Dungeon, like, all of your guys deal damage. You sort of know which order they're going in a turn. You sort of understand what order the enemies are going in a turn, what they'll do, and it sort of works out.
Yeah, that makes sense.
XCOM.
There's like an actual speed stat, while XCOM doesn't really have a speed stat, so like trying to figure out who is allowed to move next kind of is like a balancing that we'd have to work out.
Yeah. It needs to be an entire system. Obviously, I really like XCOM. Like, I play thousands of hours of it, and I could be playing a different game.
Yeah, I know, right? How many hours do you have into XCOM right now? I've got like, I think about 1,000 for myself. Maybe a little more. 1,500.
I broke 2,000 in XCOM 2 last week or something.
All right, so you've got 500 hours worth of EXP over me.
Yeah, and I have something like 6,000 in XCOM 1.
6,000? Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I played it
I have
offline for a really long time, so I'm not actually certain how many I have.
Is it mostly long war experience, or is it part of that like vanilla?
It's almost exclusively long war. Yeah, I got into long war 3 years ago or so, and I guess I've been averaging probably 100 hours a month that entire time.
That's some dedication.
How much is that? Like 3 hours a day? That's a lot of XCOM. It's a lot of XCOM.
Yeah, that's a lot of XCOM. XCOM's like the kind of game that I keep coming back to even after I take a break from it. Like a lot of other games I'll play for a bit, like Payday 2, I played like some with my friends, but then I won't actually go back to it after like we gotten bored of it. XCOM's like a game that I'll always keep going back to no matter how many breaks I take from it.
I don't know if I've ever taken a break from XCOM.
There are no breaks on the XCOM train.
No, I have. I know what you're talking about. I take a month off, like, every now and then. I played some Darkest Dungeon when Darkest Dungeon expansion came out. I just really miss XCOM while I'm doing that.
I feel like whenever I watch like a video game playthrough of someone else like playing a game, it makes me want to play the game also. So like part of the reason why I always go back to XCOM, I think, is because I watch a bunch of people play XCOM. Like I watch your stuff and I watch Beagle Rush's stuff long time ago a lot. And ooh.
I've never been yellow alerted by a chrysalid like that before. It just pulled to next to one of my soldiers.
Well, it's great to know that that can happen.
Yeah, no, we're finding out a lot of interesting things this mission right now.
So what I like to do with these types of missions is that like I try to get my rookies towards my units as much as possible. So like I look at all the black space in between my units and my rookies, and then I try to cover as much of that black space as I can and kill the pod that's in between us. so I can pull the rookies back there in a safe place, away from like the yellow alert nastiness that can be out there.
I just let them all die. I don't move them because I don't want to let pods activate, and they always deploy inside rooms with huge amounts of line of sight all around them.
Yeah.
Usually there are pods in the corners, so you could like run this way to try to get away and pull the pod in between. I think that works fine. Usually I let the pod pull and then I'll run back to my soldiers once it's pulled, but if I can just have it not pull, that's my preference.
I see. Every time I do that though, it feels like something like just walks up from behind one of the rookies and kills them instantly.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty used to losing 1 or 2 rebels here, but like even in the situation that I'm in, I won't lose more than 1, I don't think.
Yeah. I'm just like the kind of person who like isn't happy if if I'm not able to control the fate of like some of my soldiers. Well, I guess you're like able to like play around it, so like you don't really mind that as much.
I'm heartless. Heartless and calculating.
Dude, did you even know the name of that rookie who died?
No. What?
No.
No? Of course not. People spend hours customizing soldiers and sending them to me so that they can be parts of my campaigns, and then all they do is die, and I have no idea who they even were.
Don't even know their names. It's such a sad story.
I'm not sure how we're killing the cocoon, by the way, with ballistic SMGs. Oh, what?
Could you imagine if you... Oh wait, you did... Oh my goodness. How?
It's a very angry drone now.
Well then, that's a fun experience.
I've reached the part of this campaign where I just sort of click buttons and wait until I win.
Yeah. Yep, basically.
Are you familiar?
Yeah, that's how it feels like most XCOM campaigns are. It's like after you get to a certain point, you just like click, like you don't actually even plan out your moves. You just like click on things and see what happens, and then you react to what happens.
Yeah, the way that I have had it explained to me best is that late game XCOM is just like glorified Sims. Look at that. Stun Gunner. There you go, terrible name. I took Stun Gunner on someone. It's not serving him very well right now.
All right then.
In this game, whoa, there are people there.
Oh,
in this
hi.
game, like, so many of your soldiers are going to die just on like suicide missions or in retaliations of various sorts and things like that. That I don't really have the energy to care. To care if one of them does.
That's what kind of happened to me in like Long War 1, because I had to like keep typing in people's names because there were no character pools. I stopped like caring about typing in people's names because it just got like really tedious after a while. It's like I just spent like maybe 5 minutes customizing a guy and he dies like on his first mission, and it's just like, oh, okay. Well.
I care considerably more about the lives of my soldiers in Long War 1. Holy fuck.
Oh yeah, by the way, crystals can double move and attack.
And
the babies
for
from
9.
D. Yeah. But more
Holy
importantly,
shit!
Oh shit. Yeah, those drones. I feel like the hunter drones are like a huge jump in difficulty from the regular drones. Like you're so used to just being able to tank a crit from like the back from one of the regular drones, and then suddenly the hunter drones. Oh really?
Yeah. Well, that was like a 13% chance to hit shot. Yeah. It was against the rebel. I was okay with the rebel getting shot. We're actually in pretty bad shape here.
Yeah, I'd say the second chrysalid cocoon might be a problem.
There are definitely 2 chrysalid cocoons. Can you stasis a chrysalid cocoon? I have no idea.
This is Firebrand. Evac request confirmed. Hold tight.
So, maybe I'll let you focus a little bit on this.
I think we're completely fine.
All right.
Yeah, I should probably think slightly more than I have been.
If you burn a cocoon, will it be disabled for all the burn turns?
I doubt it. I was just gonna put a shinobi next to it.
Okay, that's fair. It's fair. Although, yeah, that should be fine.
Let's like walk backwards and shoot a rocket at it too.
I lost my I lost one of my higher ranking shinobis on my all shinobi campaign when there were 3 chrysalids, and I forgot that because I had combatives on everyone, so I thought we were just like we could ignore the chrysalids, but I forgot that they could focus fire on one guy, and that person just died.
Yeah. You had combatives on everybody. That's funny.
Yeah, like every time we came across an all muton pod, we just ran next to them and just ignored them.
Okay. I wonder if them killing Advent dudes creates nests.
It does, but the nests spawn chrysalids that are on the enemy team. It creates like an enemy team nest.
No, I mean if one of these chrysalids kills that guy, who I just mind
if the
control.
chrysalid kills that guy.
don't know if
Yeah,
that
it should
makes
just create an
sense or
enemy
not.
team nest.
Okay.
Wait, yeah,
believe you.
chrysalids can make a nest on I think anything that's because I think it was implemented in multiplayer that anything that was humanoid. So like, I think if like a snake can bind that target, then probably they can create a chrysalid cocoon over it.
Okay.
Although you could try it for like experiment's sake, you know. Sometimes for the sake of science.
Well, I mean, whether or not I want it to happen, I think there's a decent chance that we're going to find out.
AI hacks. Well, I see this is going just fine.
When was the last time that you squad wiped in a late game mission?
The
Run
all
hard.
shinobi run had a pretty good squad wipe. It was so the all shinobi run actually got up to like Mark 3 enemies with just like tier 2 stun batons and stuff. And basically we went on our second Haven, like the Liberated Haven retaliation missions. I don't know what you're supposed to call those. But yeah, they just invasions. So basically, we had Mark 3 troopers dropped into us every single turn, and it was either all 10 of us had to run into the enemy squad and then activate the entire map at once, or we just stay there and fight reinforcements with Bladestorm for the rest of eternity. So I chose the fun option, and the fun option was not the right option.
Yeah, those missions are terrifying. I have lost many of those missions.
Yeah. They're being toned down, right, in 1.5?
I don't
I
know.
have not
Maybe.
actually looked at the patch notes. I thought I heard something about it. I could be wrong.
That's my general approach to knowing about the patch notes too.
I just feel like one of the things about the Haven invasions is that it's very oriented as to whether or not the relay spawns on a roof or inside a
Yeah.
building.
I mean,
I
this
feel like
just
that
is
level of
a
RNG
bug,
should.
really.
You mean whether it spawns inside the building is a bug?
Well, it shouldn't die so quickly if it's on a roof.
Well, I mean, if it's on a roof,
Possibly
then your
it just
sniper can at
shouldn't-
least hit it,
Yeah.
right?
Possibly it just shouldn't be allowed to spawn on top of a roof. Just
Well, if it's not allowed to
Like,
spawn on
full
top of
stop.
the roof, then are you able to actually beat those missions late game? I mean, do you have to beat those missions, though? That's another question.
yeah, you don't
I guess
have
you
to
don't
beat
have
them.
to.
La unión hace la fuerza.
Although I guess it would kind of feel bad for a player to just like have to ignore one of those missions just because it's like you're just not meant to do it, kind of thing.
Yeah. Sometimes I think that it's okay for strategic games to have that sort of stuff.
Yeah, that's fine too.
I
I
don't
guess.
100% know how we're surviving this right now.
Can you stun the cocoon with
I was
your
gonna
arc
try to
thrower?
stasis it and see what happened.
Okay, stasis will probably work. I'm pretty sure it won't do anything on stasis.
I still have a lot of actions.
The insanity. I mean, did the will reduction affect all the current enemies right now on the map? Like the
Yeah, it did.
chrysalids? Wait, can you insanity a cocoon?
No, you cannot.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I tried that already.
Hey
Wait,
Ronar, can
let's
you
try it
ask
again.
JoINrbs about the 1.5 patch release date? I have no idea when that's coming out. Did they? Is there even a confirmed release date for this kind of stuff?
No, there's no confirmed release date for 1.5.
Long War 1 had trap missions that you couldn't... I don't know about that. Trap missions you could beat on Impossible. You
Yeah.
could.
I've certainly
definitely
beaten a
could.
trap mission.
It's just a lot of Overwatch crawling. but you definitely could.
Las voces son reales.
No,
That
they're
work?
just talking to
I don't think that
which
worked.
I guess is co-op.
Panic was
Well,
okay.
I guess if you call co-op me watching JoINrbs die to chrysalids that just happened to crit him twice in a row.
I liked the 4% fail on the drone hack into it, hitting a 13% on my guy the next turn. That was my personal favorite RNG of the mission thus far.
This mission has just been like everything that could possibly go wrong, like yellow alert critting some guy twice.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one.
96% hack chance failing.
Thanks for bringing that up again.
No problem. I'll remind you about it as we go along. And then of course the double chrysalid crit along with the drone shot through cover. Yeah, there was a lot of unlikely things to happen, but they happened though.
I've never seen a chrysalid take a yellow alert action either.
Yeah, like usually they're out of range, right? So they just like blue move or something and they stop doing anything.
Yeah.
But I guess it's mostly because chrysalids are rare. Like we just never really see chrysalids, to be honest.
Well, you'd have
Besides,
to
like,
run
on
into
the-
one and have it happen like
Yeah.
inside a building. Man, I can't see the stun lancer. That's pretty awkward. Okay, I guess there's 7 other ways that I can kill it though. That's fortunate. 2 other ways
That's
I
what-
can kill it.
It's one of the nice things about having a lot of psi. Like they're really flexible.
Stormen und schießen. Okay.
The cocoons in Long War only spawn 3, just like in vanilla, right?
I think so. I look forward to finding out.
Ziel erledigt.
Keep trying to insanity the chrysalid. Soulfire. Can I soulfire the nest? I can't soulfire the nest either. Cocoon. Mind merge somebody. Probably not.
Feeling uneasy?
Try to keep mind controlling. We're just gonna mind control with insanities because this is a hypnography mission anyway. I hope
Yeah,
that the
that's true.
nest doesn't make a chrysalid.
I don't think it can. Only the far one can right now. Or
I hope you're right. I'm gonna throw a concussion rocket over there so that it's not in my inventory anymore, and so we can get a reload next turn if we need. It'll be much less suspicious if I say reload.
Much less suspicious.
That
All
didn't
right.
deal any damage to the drones. That concussion
Is-
rocket.
Oh yeah, it's supposed to do like at least 1, right?
Maybe it only deals damage to
Organics. That. I
organics.
guess that might make sense. Because it's supposed to disorient / stun, right? Could you imagine if that counterattack had also failed?
I don't think it was possible for the counterattack to fail there. I hope that it
I
wasn't
mean-
possible.
I don't know. There's a lot of things that we might not have thought was possible before they happened here.
Recibimos fuego intenso. Venga, espabila.
Okay, so stasising a cocoon does prevent it from making chrysalid. I don't know, like, is that making chrysalids? I don't think
It probably
is.
isn't. Wait, is it not? Really? It just passed its.
I haven't
Maybe
seen
if
one.
it doesn't have a soldier next to it. Maybe it'll only make one if it knows if it like sees people, or if it feels threatened or something. I don't know.
I wonder if it's because it was made during Yellow Alert and the game.
Oh, did that break the game somehow? Maybe.
Maybe.
Hmm.
The game seems to be broken a little bit right now. At least
Just a little bit. Okay.
Moving to position.
We're gonna pretend that we can kill drones. Are you ready for this?
Okay.
Wait, the game doesn't even know that that's there.
What's there?
The
The
cocoon.
cocoon?
It
No,
won't
it's
highlight
highlighting
it.
the dead
Damn.
soldier. See how there's a soldier body
Wait!
stand. Yeah, the cocoon's the soldier actually. Apparently. Yeah, like if you highlight the body of the soldier, I think it would get the soldier.
Fair enough. Apparently, I meant to explain to you the truth that is the nanoscale vest.
The truth that is nanoscale vest. What is
Yeah.
this truth?
Reality is fleeting.
My chat says that you keep getting your guys killed by Yellow Alert because you don't use nanoscale vests, and that I need to help you.
Ah, I see. Well, See, the thing is, I'd never actually built small items because I forget that they exist.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay. Well, I mean,
like,
that's completely
I recognize that
defensible.
nanoscale is actually probably a good thing to actually have on people, but then I'm just like always forgetting. Because I just like to slap on like a grenade, flashbang, and like suits of armor on anyone who's not a rookie, and I'm just like, okay, yeah, you're fine, get out there. And if we have incendiary grenades, I pop those on people also, but that's about like the extent of loadouting that I do.
Yeah. This is the second time this mission that Jackie has mind controlled someone and then immediately killed them because I have Schism on her.
Do you have Void Rift on anyone yet?
I'm training it on one guy. I had the option to get it faster, but I went for Bastion instead.
I
I'm not
see.
sure that I actually think that that's good.
You know, on a hypnography mission, getting a Void Rift onto a group of enemies just means like triple mind control. That would have been really helpful right about now.
Would have been helpful. I need one more person to kill these. 2 more people to kill them. We're gonna stun lance a drone and see what happens.
Oh man. Good job, Stun Lancer. In fact, the drone will probably attack the Stun Lancer, so you might be able to ignore it and use your action for something else.
Yeah, I'll just shoot at him because it's flanking him. I think I have too many actions to ignore it. I'd run out of things to do.
Are you unwell?
No bugs on XCOM, just features to make the game much more hardcore.
Shields.
So how was your PUBG experience last night? I didn't actually get to sit through the entire thing. Did you actually like stay awake, or like did you actually like stay awake for the whole night or something?
That's the longest stream that I've done in like since Christmas, I think. I streamed for 13 hours or something like that. I streamed for a very long time.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, it was
13-hour
fun.
stream.
I just sort of zoned out and enjoyed playing. And
Zoned out, enjoyed playing.
didn't,
That's fair.
you know. All my viewers went to sleep and stuff, and I was streaming at a very different time from what I usually do, and a game that I'm terrible at and don't usually stream. So it was a very
Yeah.
just relaxed occasion.
Everyone was talking about how they loved your focused look on that stream.
Everyone was making fun of me for the most part.
Hey, don't worry, I was too. I mean, yeah.
That's fine.
I was in
That's what
chat.
I was
like,
there for.
I was telling you to put your ×8 scope on your shotgun, and I was hoping that you'd listen.
The auto shotgun, it's like a rifle or something. Yeah.
Yeah, the one that looks like the assault rifle, but it isn't
Yeah, I
really.
don't think that's what you're meant to do with that gun. Ooh, I have one of these. I didn't realize I had one of those. Does the nest like go away after 3 turns? What does it do?
Yeah, after it spawns 3 chrysalids, it just dies, I think.
Okay.
Is that the chrysalid?
I'm
Or-
pretty sure that I've never let a nest last that long.
Yeah, usually you don't let a nest last that long. Well, we've got the slow motion drone caught in the space-time continuum.
Talk more slowly around it. Whoa!
Whoa! Alright, now he's gonna stare at it very dramatically.
This is probably been the weirdest mission of XCOM that I've ever played. And you've just like
Really?
shown up
You
for
sure
it
about that?
for this
Oh,
moment.
and I showed up for it. Are you sure
Yeah.
it's really been the weirdest though?
It's been a very, very weird mission of XCOM. Like it's hypnography with 5 Psi operatives.
Okay, that's fair.
We checked off the like yellow alerts couldn't kill. We have
Okay.
like active chrysalid cocoons which aren't making chrysalids.
Wait, you stunned that thing the last turn. What did you do with the
I
this turn?
stasis it twice in a row, but this one isn't
Okay.
making any either.
Hey, I know. For experiment's sake, why don't you try leaving it alone?
I'll put a shinobi next to it and leave it alone. We'll see what happens.
Oh, darn it. I wanted you to leave it alone without the shinobi.
You're going to get one of my soldiers killed, right?
What? Oh, yeah, of course.
I see what you're doing.
What? No, what
I
am
see
I
what
doing?
you're doing. Ronar.
What? No. I didn't do anything. It wasn't me.
I've accidentally invited a member of my Twitch chat into the stream. This is an Intel Mini retaliation, Walrus.
I'm on it.
So it says 5 active enemies.
Target package.
Should we try to work out what that means? Is that 1, 2, 3,
1, 2,
4,
3,
5?
4. Wait, where's the 5?
1, 2,
Oh, I see, I
3,
see.
4,
Yeah, the mind
5.
controlled
It's
guys
counting
count.
the mind controlled
Yep.
guy. I'm pretty sure that it just counts the mind control guy.
Could you imagine if it doesn't actually count the cocoons and there's 2 crystals out there just waiting to run up to you guys and kill them?
Yeah, I can imagine that, but I'm pretty sure the cocoons just didn't work. I think that's the... We can use Occam's razor here, I think. Can you set
So
them
one
on
thi-
fire?
Oh, you mean the cocoons?
Yeah.
I've set them on fire before, but I don't know if the fire disables them.
How do you, like, have this much experience with chrysalid cocoons, Ronar? What do you do to your soldiers?
No, that was from like long time ago when I was playing vanilla. I just remember doing like I assume that being able to light the cocoon on fire carries over into Long War. It should, right? It looks like it's carrying over.
It would make sense.
See, I'm approximating my knowledge, and then like if my approximations are wrong, I still win. So I feel like half.
I don't think stunning it does anything. Stunning it doesn't do anything.
It doesn't seem like it did. So I think one of the nice things about these special runs that like you and I have done is that we get to skip out on certain techs that we normally wouldn't be forced to get. Like being able to skip like your weapon techs, like not having to like research weapons is a benefit in itself, right? If you think about it.
Yeah,
You don't have to spend the
definitely
resources on that.
is. Definitely is.
Mhm.
I mean, I think it's a stronger way to do Psi. I think if I were trying to research all the weapon techs, my campaign would be weaker.
Do you think that there's actually like a strat in this game possibly out there where it's like it's actually more optimal to actually not research weapons in its current state right now?
I don't think that this strategy is better than just researching weapons. I think it's better to do the standard like lasers into armor sort of thing.
Okay,
But
that's
maybe.
fair. Maybe.
I don't know. I'm 1 for 1 with this strategy as far as I can tell.
1 for 1. Okay.
Tim Douglas isn't 1 for 1 with it. He's dead. But the
Along with
the
that
campaign
dead
is
rookie
doing
that
well.
you don't know the name of.
Well,
How could you?
yeah, that guy doesn't count. Oh, it's counting that this guy's alive too, isn't it? I think it is.
Oh, the unconscious guy?
And
Also, what ability did you knock him unconscious with? Was that insanity?
no, that was a stun lancer. A stun lancer
Oh, okay.
knocked him unconscious. Pay attention, Ronar. How
I'm
could
sorry,
you not
okay?
automatically assume that the officer was knocked unconscious by an advent stun lancer?
I've never actually like seen the
I just-
unconscious effect that often.
I
Oh
just
yeah,
missed him.
are you allowed to target him with Soulfire?
I think so.
Like when you do 20 damage to like an Advent Elite officer with the Skulljack, does that knock them unconscious or is that just like a different thing in itself?
I think that just knocks them into bug state. I
Into
think it
bug
just
state.
bugs them, but I think they're still fine.
Che ne dite? Ci siamo.
It's pretty amusing actually because you just see them twitching around on the floor like they're trying to crawl around with like a gaping hole under their chin while they're trying to like get orders out to their teammates.
Yeah, I always like find that stuff a combination of amusing and like depressing. Like this is how I choose to spend my time in this game, where when you do this thing to an enemy, they look like that.
I mean, it's amusing in its own way though.
Yeah, no, mostly amusing. A little bit depressing.
Little
Those
bit
cocoons
depressing.
are not making chrysalids.
I'm on it.
It's just not happening
Did you
at
leave it
all.
alone this time?
Well, I've always left the other one alone. We cannot soulfire
Oh.
that.
Maybe you have to be within line of sight of it or something.
Okay, we worked out how to kill unconscious guys.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Did that reduce the active number by 1?
Yeah, it did.
Okay.
And Hey, it's my soldier.
He's fine. See? Look, he's okay. He's
Is
back
he
to
in
join the
T-pose?
team.
Yeah, he's T-posing.
He's back to
Man,
join the team. See,
you
he's
don't see
fine.
many T-poses in this game anymore. Oh, hey, there's a
hope they never
chrysalid there.
fix them.
Is it because there were 2 cocoons active at once? Is that what?
No, I think it's just because you didn't see it. I think it's just because you didn't see it, so it only spawns like chrysalids if it knows there's someone nearby to kill. And since it's like non-mobile, it can't actually run within line of sight and start spawning things. I mean, that makes sense, right?
Maybe.
Shield.
I think it might be because I had one of them stasis, and then they decided not to take their turn. Shall we? No, I'm not going to test this anymore. I'm going to escape this mission as quickly as I can
Before you get crit by another chrysalid.
before I actually go insane.
And goodbye to Mr. Chrysalid.
So how would you feel if, like, you made your, like, gimmicky shinobi campaign or whatever, and then you actually won the campaign?
I would feel pretty good about winning the campaign, but then I'd probably have more feedback about the shinobi class then.
Yeah. Well, I think shinobis are absurdly overpowered.
I think I already have feedback about them. I feel like they shouldn't actually be like relegated to a damage roll, to be honest. Like, I don't think Fletch needs to do that much damage.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think the sword should have the accuracy bonus. I don't think it should deal as much damage. I think it scales too well.
This is Firebrand.
Yeah, like just the
They're far
ballistic
too
sword,
competent.
not the ballistic sword, but tier 1 swords, right? Like,
Yeah.
just last you like for almost the entire game.
Yeah, and then when you upgrade them, you get like a sword which gives you 50% chance to burn and deals like 15 base damage.
Even the tier 2 one just has random chances to stun applied to it.
Yeah. No, those are like insane.
Yeah. I feel
Too
like
strong.
Fletch, instead of just like dealing more damage, should just be something like, I don't know, instead of like Fletch, there should be something where it's like it deals the same like the regular damage, but instead like if you kill the target or something, you get to keep concealment. I think something like that would be okay. Like just make them more into like a cleanup role kind of.
So at the end of the pod, you kill a guy with that, and then you
Yeah, and then
are able
you
to
just keep
scout the
going.
next pod too.
Yeah,
makes
something like
sense.
that. And then just don't make it so that it deals like 10 damage on slash, and just make it so that it does like, what was base damage, like 4 to 6.
Maybe I'd make it so if you were concealed when you killed the guy with it, it tries to conceal you again at the end of your move.
Or like it keeps the concealment rather than. Would it have to do it like that? I don't know.
Well,
the
you're
code
gonna
would
like
work, but-
lose your concealment on the way.
Okay, I was thinking of something like the Shadow Keeper killing someone, like the Shadow Keeper gun.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I
that
have
might activate
very
more pods, but
limited-
like at least like as long as you keep the concealment.
I have very limited experience with the Shadow Keeper. I wouldn't want you to be able to use it to like kill
Maybe like one
somebody
charge of Fletch.
and then get into cover relative to the rest of the pod and like have concealment over multiple turns. I think that's silly.
Well, if you use it to engage on a pod, and even if you kill someone, you'll likely get revealed, right? Because like as the pod scampers.
Yeah.
It should be like something that like is used to finish off. So maybe you would even reduce the damage of it, like after you Fletch, like or like when you pick the Fletch perk, or whatever you would call it, like when you pick the skill, it would deal like
Fire
half
or
damage.
something. Yeah.
Yeah, like it would just do half damage, but if you kill with it, then you get to like regain concealment. I think that'd be fair, right? Maybe put like a charge counter on it, so like tier 1 swords would have 1 charge of it, tier 2 swords would have 2 charges.
It sounds more interesting than just having it deal a ton of damage.
Yeah, definitely would have to be balance checked and stuff. I don't know.
Hey,
Okay.
I think we finished the mission.
Hey, we found the other guy.
4? That's counting people who were mind controlled. We only lost 2,
Was it?
right?
No,
No,
let's see.
we lost
2
3.
recruits. No, 3 recruits and 1 guy from the yellow
Yeah,
alert.
from the yellow one.
So it was the drone and then the double
Oh,
chrysalid.
that's actually true. That was a bloody mission.
Yeah.
Fortunately, it was like a level 1 cyber. It's really not a very big deal.
Okay.
And we actually
Yeah.
didn't lose the relay.
Oh yeah,
despite
you didn't
having
lose the relay
12
because they
active
stopped
enemies.
spawning chrysalids.
Yeah.
That was pretty nice. That
And
was pretty nice.
also spent a lot of time running around killing each other instead of attacking me. Good Shinobi combatives tanking on the Muton. Like, these Psi-operatives are so strong and so removed from game mechanics like cover and positioning and stuff that, like, thinking about what was interesting about that mission is a struggle a little bit. Like, I clicked abilities and then used them on people and they died.
I think
I
like
might
some
control
abilities
myself.
like stasis, like abilities like stasis and soulfire are kind of like just like brainless because it's just like you click it, right? It's like, okay, I can't deal with that guy, I'll click stasis. I
Yeah.
can deal with that guy, soulfire. And then don't forget to press insanity in between every turn also.
I think I should have just gone medic specialists. I think I should have gone revival, field surgeon, Trojan, airdrop savior, full override restoration in this campaign.
Medic spec?
Well, it's not really a medic spec. It's like all the good hacking perks.
Yeah, all
and
the
then
good
the
hacking
rest of the
perks.
time you take, you know,
Yeah, that makes
whatever.
sense. Because Sentinel's like gonna be basically useless later on.
Yeah, I was thinking that it would be okay with covering fire, but it's not really.
Were you like hoping for like double -10 aim or something? Every turn.
Yeah, that's like what it does. It's just not clear that what it does is good. Wait, he had 7 missions?
Oh wow.
Oops.
That's 7
Oh,
missions
this is
worth
the
of
guy
death.
who was new. Oh, okay. Well, that's sad. That's too
You
bad.
can tell the emotion from your voice. Oh well, that's sad.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty torn up about that one. Do we want domination on somebody with 94 size strength or just the 2-day? See, I've just been... The reason I don't have stuff like domination and void risk, yes, is that I'm just trying to like get like wide lots of psi operatives. So I'm just taking like the 2-day train on Fortress because I know that I'll want it as a prereq later. And we take domination once it takes 7 days.
So, are Psi's able to train up every single Psi ability?
No,
actually
they
haven't
get
tested one.
7.
Okay. So, what I would think is... Wait, what prerequisite for like Fortress?
Let me look up this psyop.
Because if you
Wikipedia.
have limited abilities that you can learn, maybe like filling the perks up with too many useless perks might not be the best thing.
Yeah, it's a prereq to Void Rift and Fuse
Okay, that's fair.
and Bastion. So my 7 are typically going to be Solace, Stasis. Okay, Solace and Fortress are the worthless prereqs. And then on top of that, you can get Stasis, Domination, Null Lance, Void Rift, and one more.
Schism?
Schism,
For
Bastion
Void Rift?
are
Yeah.
going to be the main 2, I think. It's weird because by that point, the campaign's already over. Like, the campaign's mostly
Like, whatever you
already
pick,
over
I
now.
don't think it'll like affect it.